Good to see you guys. And thank you for jumping on with us. So I think it's loading for a second and then it'll show up on Facebook and then we'll start.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Online right now. Thank you for jumping on with us. Leah and Bernardo, really good to see you. I know that I've been wanting to talk with you guys and have people hear your story for quite a while now. And I'm so glad we're able to plan a time and be here and talk to everyone. So, and if anyone who's watching have questions, feel free to just type it into Facebook comment and we'll address them. So let's start by asking you guys a couple of questions. If you could introduce yourself a little bit, like where you came from, what are you up to right now, and anything interesting about yourself, and then we'll dive into it. Yeah, just so the viewers know a little bit about you.
Okay. So my name is Bernardo. I'm from Brazil. I have been here in the United States 5 years now, this next month. And life has been really good. I will be married 1 year and 2 months, 1 month, something like that. And I have 3 companies, a cleaning company, a landscaping, and a remodeling company so far. And that's a little about my story.
Okay, that's it. My name is Leah. I'm from San Diego, California. I am 27. I took the NLP training in 2018 in September, the week before we met. And yeah, I had just graduated school, and that's a little bit about me, I guess. Oh, yeah, we've been married a year and it's going to be 2 months pretty soon. And yeah, we're just excited to be here. And I don't know how many times I've told people like, oh, how did you meet your husband? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. So this is exciting to tell everybody on a live now.
Awesome. Well, hey, I know there's so much more to say about you guys, but we'll go through the interview and I'm sure people will get to know you guys more. And so if you don't mind, let's jump right into it. Leah, would you tell us a little bit about how your life was right before you jumped into the training and kind of like the process of what happened during and after the training that brought you to Bernardo, if you don't mind sharing that.
OMG. Yes.
Oh, actually, before you say this, I want to say this. I want you guys to know that there's a reason that I am asking this question, because it truly is possible to design what you want. So let's go ahead and answer the question if you would.
So before the training, I had a little bit of a rough summer. So my best friend and I had like broken up a couple months before. And that was really rough for me because it's my best friend, you know, your best friend. And suddenly I didn't have like my best friend anymore. And so I was trying to find myself over the summer again. And I worked abroad in Ghana, which was really cool because I didn't have Wi-Fi for like 6 weeks. And I was just working on myself and reading some books that afterwards I realized are actually like NLP books. But because my friend Taryn, who was NLP trained, had recommended this book to me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really awesome. So I took it, really helped me. Anyways, yeah, so I was just having like a summer of where I'm trying to find myself. I had just graduated from BYU, from college, and I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with life, but I had this friend, Taryn, who was like, hey, you know, we're having this training. I mean, I could like do NLP practices with you and stuff, but I think that you would benefit the most by taking my friend's training because you'll learn all of the stuff. You'll meet a really cool network of people, and you will have, more importantly, you're going to have the resources to basically get what you want and change your life to exactly what you want. And I was like, okay, you know what? That sounds great. And coincidentally, I had the exact amount for the training in my like set aside. And so I was like, wow, this is perfect. So I did the training. And then what was the next question?
Oh, and then, so what happened during and or after the training that caused you,
Oh,
that led you
yes.
to Bernardo? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the training, Williams, like, all right, I need you guys to write down a goal. And this goal is like, I'll know that this training was worth it when I blank, 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 blank. And I was like, all right, well, I don't have, I've passed through this summer where I've decided like, I think I'm ready to find my husband, my best friend forever. So I was like, okay, well, I'll know that this training was worth it when I'm engaged by this date to the person that I'm going to be absolutely in love with and blah, 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 blah. That was my secret goal because I didn't want anybody to know that that was actually my goal. So my goal was like, oh yeah, I'll know that the training was worth it if I have like this much in my account at the end of the year or something. And it was like some big financial number. And so we did the training and it was so good. And the day after, I just felt like so cleansed. Like I learned so much and I'm so grateful for the training. And I don't even remember how many days after. Oh, but it was like the day after. And I was like, all right, cool. So I have to be really specific about my secret goal. So I was laying in bed and I was like, all right, I want my husband to be like this and like this. And I was like, oh, am I being too specific? Am I being like too selfish? Because this sounds like the perfect person. And I was like, I want him to look like this and to look like this. I actually have a picture I can show you, but you can't see it. Close your eyes.
He'll see it though. He'll see it.
So I like the big nose.
As you guys can see.
As you guys can see, profile. I just really like his features. I think he's really handsome. And it's like, well, I don't think it's selfish to ask like what I think is physically cute. So hopefully my friends don't see this because it's one of my friend's ex-boyfriends. But if you can see, the guys on the right side are like some people who I was like, oh, I think that they're really cute. And then Bernardo's on the left. And they all look exactly like him. So yeah, that night I was just laying in bed. I was super specific. And then I was like, anybody who's listening, Heavenly Father, Jesus, Mary, Holy Spirit, ancestors, spirits in the room, universe, ants on the wall. Like, I need you guys all to listen because I'm going to find this person and I need to find him now. And so I shot out this, like, imagine this, like, blue beam shoot out from my heart into the universe. And I was like, hey, I need to find him. So do your work. And then I just really imagined, like, what it would be like to hug him in the moment. And then I don't know if it was the next day or, like, a couple days later. It was the same week. I went to the Brazilian festival with some of my friends because we go every year. And I was in line with a friend and all of a sudden this guy comes up to me and he's like, are you Brazilian? You speak Portuguese? You speak English? Who are you? What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? And I was like, and he just left. And I was like, okay. And I see him again and he's with one of our mutual friends. And he's a cool guy, but I had just taken the training and I was like, I am willing to cut off some friendships that I just don't think are taking me in the direction that I want to go. And he happened to be with that person that I was like, he's too crazy for me. So I'm not really interested. And I'm not interested in this guy either. And I guess I was. So at the end of the day, at the end of the festival, we had danced a lot. He asked me to dance and he asked for my phone number and I was like, sure. And then we're leaving and my best friends who I was with, they're Brazilian too. And they knew him from before. And they're like, promise that you'll never date him. And I was like, why? They're like, oh, he's like such a player, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm not interested in players. I promise I'll never, ever date him. But then I lied because I dated him and then I married him.
So tell us what on your side, Bernardo, what happened? Like when you saw her, what happened? I mean, guys, just so you know, right? I want to get some detail here because in the trainings that we teach, we encourage everyone to design what they want. And it's not only in the, in the business side where you can design what you want, and also designed, your ideal business partner, your ideal employees, your ideal clients, but also in your personal life, you can design your ideal, love relationships and a number of other things. My lens is going in and out of focus for some reason. I think it's the light. Hold on. Should be better. So that being said, I want you guys to really pay attention to the possibilities of what these people experience, these wonderful people have experienced in their life and how they found each other. So go ahead, Bernardo, if you don't mind sharing from your perspective,
Yeah.
right? What?
So oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
So I was not trained yet by William. So I just got off from engagement. So I was like doing different things. I was like in a different level of my life. I was like, I want to date someone, but I don't want to date at the same time. So when I saw Leah, I was like talking with her and was like, okay, this girl is different. I have some friends that knew her. So I asked them like, how is she like? Like, what can I talk with her? I don't know. And then I found out she was like, oh, she doesn't like players. She doesn't like this, or she like this. So like, okay, so she's different than the other girls. And then I had the first date and I told her all my story, like, oh, I'm gonna do everything new now. I'm not gonna be doing the same things I was doing in the past. So I just started doing everything different and enjoy every moment. And in that moment in my life, I was ready to find the right person. So it was not just looking around just to have fun, but like look someone to have like something more serious. And then just little by little, I fall in love with her. It was really easy. Nothing big change you have to do. I was ready to meet her. Even I haven't like did the training yet, but I knew a lot of things about the NLP, and she helped me too. She did some sections with me uh, to help me.
Oh, sessions.
Sessions with me, yeah, and they helped me a lot and opened my mind. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I really like this girl, and was just perfect. Everything was really cool.
So something for everyone to think about is that as we do these special interviews, we want to choose very specific stories to share with you guys so you can see a number of different scenarios and different things that could happen. And in this scenario, Leah really she had just graduated from college after spending time abroad as well as doing a number of other things to really expand her horizon. And she's really done a lot of things to grow herself over the years. And then when she graduated, she felt like it was the right time for her. And so, and at the same time, Bernardo had just broken off an engagement. Like what are the odds, right? That's a pretty interesting, timing. So, and it reminds me of my story too. So let's keep going. So then fast forward. What got you guys, now that you guys are married, right? How long ago did you get married again? A year and 2 months, you said?
Mhm.
Yeah, a year and almost 2 months, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us what caused you guys to decide to finally get together. I know, Leah, you've designed the one and he felt like you were different than the other girls. So there was certainly a sense of obviously liking and that you guys fell in love. Tell me a little bit about what caused you to finally decide to be with each other. And I'm going to go adjust my lens real quick.
Sure. Do you want us to start now?
Yeah, start now.
Okay. Well, like I guess we had said, he was exactly how I planned him to be, I guess designed him to be. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like he's so cool. He's so like, I really like how ambitious he is about work and his projects. And I really like how he's so forgiving. And we did have a disagreement at one point. I was going dancing with my friends and he didn't like the idea. And I was like, why? And he told me why. And I was like, sorry, that's not going to fly with me, bud. And I don't know. I was just like, well, sorry, it's not going to work then. And I went dancing with my friends, and later he like apologized. He's like, hey, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. I shouldn't, you were right. I was thinking about it wrong. And I was like, okay. And Josh, one of our friends from NLP, had recommended the Four Agreements book, which is an excellent book. I love it. And so I read it and I was like, this is so good. And I told him to read it. And Bernardo read it and he loved it. And he super changed after that. So I was like, okay, like this guy, his goal is to be the best, his best self. And so I thought that was really cool. And that was like, you know, a really high thing on my list. And yeah, just so I really decided like, no, I see his potential. I see how like active he is and like being better, how much he loves me. And yeah, I just really, really thought that that was so impressive.
Oh yeah, that book, it was really good. Just the way that I grew up and the culture in Brazil is just really different. And then I was thinking a lot, taking things a lot personal and being a little dramatic.
A little?
But then I changed. I saw like, oh, I don't need to be like that. And then I was just like seeing the things that I was learning with her and growing with her, and I was teaching her. It was just like so natural, so cool. Like that. And then I was just like seeing the things that I was learning with her. And I can hear myself now. It was just, and yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So tell me, since then you've decided to take the training. What's changed in terms of in your life since you've taken the training, since you've started?
Okay. So when we're dating, I met William, and he like, oh yeah, I do the trainings, and we're like, okay, I really would like to do a training. That would be really cool. And it was really funny at that time. We're just paying off the wedding, the ring, everything else. And then like, oh, I don't have the money right now to have the training. And then just like 2 or 3 months later, I had the exact amount to do the training. It was like, okay, William, let's do the training. I want to do it. And then I started doing the training and like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Open like more and more my mind, the things, how to connect with the universe. And I just feel so connected right now after the training. Like a small example, the other day I was thinking, oh, I want to eat this exactly food. And then we went to Leah's grandparents' house and they had this exactly food. I was like, oh my gosh, I wanting this. And I received a gift that I told William, this really wealthy guy, he gave me like more than last week. I thought about this. Thought I thought about this my friend of mine. And the next day he called me and been like 1 year I didn't talk with him. And like every time I think about someone, they text me or like I saw them like in somewhere, like I'm not expecting that to happen. And just like amazing change of life and thinking, just like sometimes I just sit and like in the chair and like think, oh my gosh, what should I do now? So many things that I know that I have to do, but what should I do now? It's just amazing. It's really cool.
So you notice that a lot of things that you wanted to happen naturally begin to show up in your life without resistance, is what you're saying.
Yes, really easy and really fast, like same week, same month, and like not delay. It's amazing.
Sounds like that's how Leah met you.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've had the same thing too. I mean, in some, I guess, a little bit more personal ways that I won't share, but how quickly and easily and effortlessly these things show up into my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought that that was just like a joke thought, but it really happened, you know?
Yeah.
So in a way too, we're also like, okay, we got to be really careful too with what we think, because we realize like our brain and everything, our imagination is like a rough draft. And so and Bernardo's really good at reminding me to like always think positive and stuff. Or like we hit a bunch of red lights and he's like, Amar, what are you thinking? I'm like, no, we're going to be on time, not late.
It's cool to have both of you being trained or have been trained, because a lot of life is being able to have someone who you can rely on, right, 24/7 to really have your back. And so being trained, both of you being trained, really makes it that much easier to have basically like a 24/7 coach to remind each other to focus on what you want, to remind each other to project, and design what you want and project that externally. And that's really cool. So let me ask you this then. If you guys were to share with the listeners or the viewers um, one tip, right, from each of you, one tip that really helped you find what you want, yeah, whether it's on the business side or in relationship, what was that one thing that you took away from the training that when you utilize it caused you to have found what you want and made it faster, easier, and more effortless?
I can say about the professional. So I set my goal and I write down, I put in a vision board, like the training, explain how to do it. And was so funny, like before I even finished the training, I already was doing double the amount that I was doing before mining flights. So it was like
Congrats.
so fast, and I decided like, no, I want to receive this right now, and then in the same month I receive it, and it was exactly like how I draw. And you have to be really specific how you say, because the way you say you're going to receive it. So if you say, oh, I want to have this amount in my account, but if you don't say my money, so I spend the way that I want, you can have other people money in your account. So you have to be really specific. And I did that, and I had like perfect achievement with that, and I felt really happy and like really like, yeah, I feel that I'm controlling my life, and the universe is blessing me, is helping me, and I deserve that.
Brilliant. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Doubling and then more, even during the training because you designed it. That's cool. Focusing on what you want. This is amazing. Okay, Leah, would you mind?
Yes. I didn't expect Bernardo to say it, but yes, setting goals. I don't know why. He's really great at setting goals, so I should have expected it. But I definitely have seen a couple of things. Being really specific in setting your goals. Obviously, that's what I did, and I found my goal. and um and believing that you're going to receive it and that you deserve it too. That has been one thing that I feel like I don't know how to express in words, but it's just like a feeling of gratitude and a feeling of belief slash like faith, confidence that you are going to receive it. Because everybody has always said, I've always heard at least, and I know this isn't the case for everybody, but growing up, like you can be whatever you want to be. And it's like, oh yeah, I can be whatever. But you really can. You can be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do as soon as as long as you just decide and believe it. And for example, yeah, I saw it happen recently with something where I was like, okay, well, my goal is for this, and I haven't seen anything like that yet, but at least like this much, but the goal is this much, And that night, like it was just, I don't know how to explain it. It was just incredible to see how successful it was to just set a very specific goal, know that you'll reach it. And it sounds so basic, but that's really what I took from the training.
Now, here's the cool thing, right? That a lot of people that have experienced the training, they would understand and really know and feel it. A lot of the work that we do in the training, throughout the training, and even after the training, is for people to be able to have the tools to remove the blockage that keeps them from believing they deserve what they want.
Yeah.
Because think of how many people out there set goals, and even if they say or logically believe they deserve it, they don't feel it, right? And or they have a number of micro habits or micro behaviors that they didn't even know they have that's causing them to self-sabotage. Whereas in the training, we help people remove that so that when you really set goals, it's so basic. You set what you want specifically, and then using, for example, the formulas that we teach, very specific and a little, quite a bit of difference between the standard vision board that we teach versus the vision board outside of our training. Anyway, there are ways to install it in the mind, right? So as you do these things, and then that feeling of I deserve it, I can have it, becomes very effortless. So I really appreciate you guys being able to share this. So I'm going to have one final question for you guys. Yeah. So if you were to now looking forward, yeah, if you were to say, hey, there is one thing that you two are gonna do using the training, what is it that you will utilize? And it can be different for the two of you to continue to create the most magnificent life that you truly deserve, right? What is the one thing that you took away from the training that, and of course, I'm sure you'll use all the things from the training, but if you could choose one thing that you want to share with the viewers that you believe will really help you because of the training and that tool from the training will make it that much easier for you to live the most magnificent version of your life, what would that thing be? I don't always ask easy questions, do I? And
Yeah.
I'm kind of
I
putting you
have the
guys
answer
on the
right.
spot. You guys weren't expecting this to be a live stream, so I appreciate you being flexible.
So yeah, I think the best. I mean, the whole train is amazing for each person. Something you're gonna learn it that you're gonna change your life for sure. The thing it was like for me it was like, for example, oh, this is expensive. Oh, for who? Or like
Compared to
compared
what?
to what? So just the way you just change the way you're thinking the things. They say the way you see the world. So that what changed for me the most. And like every time I see something now or a person, like if someone's mad, like why he's mad, like, or why I'm mad, like I just feel peace all the time. That's it. Just like I could feel the things with myself, like any fear or any blocking thing that I had before, like, oh, I know I can do that, but should I do it? Do I deserve it that? And then after you remove that and you achieve that, you're like, oh yeah, I deserve that and I can do more. And then you arrive at the point that you want to arrive, like, oh, I can go more and more and more. And just, I feel unstoppable. Like I say in the text, like, just feel like I don't want to stop anymore. I just want to go and do more. And just amazed how things that I'd never thought I could achieve before, I'm achieving. And it's just like, okay, now let's do something next. So it's just the way all the training and just all the exercise to help you to change the way you think and the way you feel. Those ones the best. Like remove any bad feelings, any bad emotions. You can be good with yourself, perfect with yourself, feeling good, not doubting yourself, not feeling any fear, just positive thoughts. And that was the amazing thing that I learned and I still apply every day after the training.
Sounds like all the things, not one thing, right?
Yeah, all the things that it's hard to choose just one specific thing. It's just like, but the question always like comes to my mind, like compared to what? Like, oh, I didn't like this. I compared to what? I don't know, anything. You can
Or that's hard. That's impossible compared to what,
yes.
right? Or
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh, that's too much money to receive for myself compared to what? So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Leah, what about you?
Um, You said, yeah, you had reminded me by like, removing those negative emotions and stuff. I'm so, so grateful for the timeline therapy practice. It's awesome. I've really seen it um, so strongly remove, like, physically, I felt like an energy block was relieved as soon as I just learned what I needed to learn from some memory, or I said sorry or something. And I felt like that energy was not like, woo, it's not blocked anymore and it's leaving. It was like, it's not blocked anymore and now I can redirect it in any direction. And um, yeah, I just like, I love it all, but I love timeline therapy. It just allows you to use your energy the way that you would like to, towards your goals. And it's another thing, but I really like the thought of perception is projection. I use that every day. And it was funny, before I took the training, Taryn had told me about it. Taryn and Blake were telling me, like, oh yeah, perception is projection, like a year and a half before, or like a year before. And I was like, what does this mean? Every day before the training, I was like, but what does perception is projection mean? So little did I know they prepped me for the training with like a question a year before. But it helps me a lot kind of discern, which path I want to take or which people I want to trust or who I want to hang out with, you know. It really just helped me to see also people are like projectors, and so it's really a lot easier to read them. And I mean this all in the best way, but it just really clears the path for you and lets you see where you want to go, where you can go.
Thank you for sharing that. So for those of you who have never heard this concept before and or timeline therapy, just real quick, timeline therapy is a model that we teach on how you can remove negative emotions, limiting beliefs. It's a memory engineering, technique or a bunch of techniques. So we teach them in the training, and it's extremely useful because once you remove things like anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt, it truly feels not only much better, just living your daily life. But you'll find that at the times when it really counts that you need to be in charge of your emotions, you're able to be in charge of your emotions. And then the perception is projection. Many of you will hear this from us. We'll say this a lot. And one thing I will say is that one of the coolest concepts that we teach, that we have learned from many of the masters, is that there is nothing outside. Now, it's of course, I'm not saying necessarily literally, we're talking very metaphorically. There is nothing outside. Imagine this, yeah? If you perceive there's negative emotion outside, you want to ask yourself, what can I learn inside? If you know there's something going on outside that you don't like, the key is knowing what you can learn inside. So perception is projection also goes beyond that, right? Not only ask you to learn from every situation that you feel emotional charge from, you also ask yourself, oh, if this is something that I don't want externally, what can I do to, inside to create what I want in the future? So it's a bunch of very, very powerful, important way of thinking, really, powerful tools to utilize on a daily basis. And over time, they accumulate, right? They compound upon each other, and then truly you get the life that you design. So I really want to thank you two for being here with us. And there's been a lot of valuable things that you shared. I know that I kind of just like, I didn't tell you it was going to be live. And I appreciate you guys being flexible and sharing your story. I kind of did that on purpose. I want you guys to kind of be on the spot and share what comes to mind naturally and not have any filter. And so the interview is not premeditated, and I really appreciate what you guys have done for yourself using the training and what you're doing for each other. And I'm so excited to see what will happen as you continue to utilize the tools. We'll definitely keep in touch. And, feel free to come on, to translibrary.com and check on the next interview, everyone. So we will be doing more interviews throughout the coming weeks. We'll have some business-oriented ones. We'll have some habit or addiction oriented ones. We'll have a number of other ones. And just to show you how versatile some of these skills can be, right? And so we will be seeing you guys sometime next week. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you.
appreciate you, Leah and Bernardo. Thank you for your time. Take care.
Thanks,
you.
William.
Bye-bye.
Bye.